Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Over the last couple of days, I've gotten the same question over and over and over, and it pertains to how to create a new reality, especially when we are feeling very discontent, detached, disconnected, unhappy with the current reality that we are living in. So I thought we'd talk about that today. I have a long list of videos that I want to bring through, unfortunately or fortunately, because money is, unnecessary right now, especially with the way that things are in our illusionary society out there, right? I still have to have some money coming in. So I guess I should just say, fortunately, I am working a lot and I am not able to bring through videos for you at this time as much as I would like to. But today afforded me an opportunity to come on here and connect with you. So the hot topic is creating the new reality. And it was presented to me in a number of ways. Now, this is nothing new. I talk about this all the time in my online community. It's always a hot topic as we are trying to stay out of the story that we are generating for ourselves, creating that as the reality that we're experiencing. And if you understand how we are constructed as human beings on the planet, we are programmed, and it's programmed into the matrix, it's programmed into the electromagnetic field for us to interact and relate to each other through storytelling. It's what we do best, believe it or not. And so if you think about it, it's in everything we do, right? Hearing the nursery rhymes when we were little, or asking our parents to tell a specific story again. Or maybe, let's say, and I know that there was a point in my life I did this where I wanted to tell the story over and over again, how my husband and I met, and all about that encounter, and then how he said, "I love you" first, and he wanted to propose, right? Those are the things that we do as we're creating the reality that we are wanting to experience or trying to experience, right? And it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it can be to our detriment if we're not watching the story that we're actually telling, right? And now that I'm not creating stories anymore and I am living a very full and present life, I could see the humor in my own interactions back in the past, and how the stories I told created all of the realities that I experienced, and including some of the pain in those realities where there was unhappiness and frustration, right? But unless we're paying attention to what it is that we're creating in our reality, the story that we're telling, and we're really good, consistent storytellers, because if you think about it, we're not just telling a story one time. We're going to tell that story over and over and over again to whoever's going to listen to it. Okay. And if we're feeling frustrated with something in our life or something in our reality, then we might be more attached to telling that lower level version of it, the negative version of it, because we're feeling into victimhood. Okay. And so if you think about it from that perspective, the feeling of victimhood is actually tied to the lack program that runs on the earth. And that feeling of victimhood is that I have to do it myself. Nobody is here to help me. Nobody wants to help me. Nobody hears me. I can't seem to figure it out. there's so many different variables that go with that, right? But these are the stories that we end up telling ourselves. And that can be very, very frustrating to continually repeat that dialogue over and over again. And what that does is it roots us into that lower level, third dimensional frequency where there's a lot of distortion. And that lower distortion is attached to and comes with pain because it ties into victimhood mentality. Okay. And so it's just how our state of being, right? Humanity was created with this ability to tell stories. So the first place that we have to look if we're wanting to jump into a new reality or quantum leap into a new reality is we have to look at the stories that we're telling, which means that we have to be present and witness what is coming out of our mouth. Okay. And so being present and showing up to hear how we are speaking about our life, about ourselves, about the people in our reality to those around us is key, because in identifying what it is that we're saying, we then have the ability to tweak it and level it up ever so slightly, increments at a time, until we're no longer spinning those tales, especially the tales of woe. Okay. And it's so habit forming, it's so habitual to be stuck in that story, because there's another part of that that ties us into it. And that would be through our subtle energy body, right? If you look at the electromagnetic field and then the auric field, and the auric field has many layers of aura to it, okay, ties into the infrastructure of the internal body, which is the chakra system, the meridians, the nadi or nadi points. And all of these energy systems together are very, very powerful and very, very strong. Okay. If you were operating one system by itself, and the other systems were not in maximum operation, then that's when we get illness in the body and we are not feeling our best. We are not able to do things, or maybe we've, created some kind of illness that is debilitating to us. That's when we shut down things like, especially the aura, right? And when we're in a debilitated state, for me, I see the aura like literally sucked into the body. So the aura is not extended from the body. It's literally sucked in. It's against the body. There's no field of protection around the body. And then because the layer that's first and foremost closest to the body is the one that protects the physical body, that one can now be impacted. It's like having your shields down and everything can penetrate you, so to speak, right? So if we look at this energy that's around us and we take this all to the next level, the story ties us into different collective experiences in our reality. So the story would have the potential to tie us into a collective that is also feeling the same way that we are, right? Out of the, 7 or 8 billion people on the planet, the many millions of people that might be feeling the same way, well, they're attached to the grid of Gaia. They're attached to the electromagnetic field of Gaia. And we are attached to the grid of Gaia. We're attached to the electromagnetic field. And maybe they're part of a soul family that you came in with to work through the distortion of the lack program, let's say. Okay. So you're all working on that lack program together, and collectively that energy pulling your field is going to be stronger, pulling you into more lack than you are as a singular person trying to do your work, pulling yourself out of lack. So that's why it always feels challenging. Okay. But the first place that we need to go to is, what are we speaking into our reality? What are we forming as our beliefs about ourselves, and then speaking about creating our reality through our uh, our talk, our actions, our emotions, right? So whatever we're speaking about, whatever we're thinking about, whatever we're acting on, that's what we're creating as our reality. Is law of attraction, law of one, law of cause and effect, right? The law of vibration, all of that ties in together as the universal laws. So once we start to tune into that, and we can see how we're creating a reality, we can look at it and say, am I creating a reality where I'm feeling restriction? I'm creating a reality that holds restriction, right? So in other words, I'll tell a story about myself so you can understand what I'm saying. So if I was an insecure person and wasn't certain about what I know or what I'm conveying to you as information here, I might be doubting myself in posting this video, right? And if I'm already thinking they may not like it, they may not feel it pertains to anything important, or they may think what I have to say isn't important in any way, then I'm throwing resistance into my reality, being resistant to posting, reluctant to posting the video. And in creating that resistance, I'm actually creating restrictions for myself. I'm restricting myself as a creator of a reality where I can flourish and I can see myself grow, and I am the star of my own movie, right? And that's true for every single one of us. So in order for me to come here and give you my absolute best, my highest level of information that I have to offer you, I have to come here with an awareness that I'm going to come in, do my absolute best, and you're going to love me just for trying, right? We're going to have a relationship just because I'm showing up here for you. I'm doing my absolute best, right? And I'm doing it with love and grace because I want everybody to have the information that I hold within me, that I possess within me, that I know to be truth, right? That is freeing. It's unlimited. It's not restrictive in any way. But if I felt that restriction and that limitation, not perceiving what I had to say as being good enough or important enough, then I'm going to do the video and it's going to come across to you that way because I'm holding it in my field, and you're going to be like, don't know if I really like this. And then I'm going to create that restriction for myself and give myself that experience through the story that I am telling about myself. And that will be my reality. So in every moment, we have the opportunity to choose how we want to create our experience in our reality. Okay. And so if we're, let's say, fighting a belief, like let's say the belief of not being good enough, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Gee, I could never know what Maria knows. I could never learn what Maria has learned or experienced in her life. I could never be that conscious. That's a limiting belief. That's a restriction. Okay. And so if we tune into that belief, right, and I have an exercise for that I absolutely love. My online community uses it to help themselves determine what is their truth. We close our eyes, and in closing your eyes, you drop into your heart center. And as you drop into your heart center, you breathe, breathing in and out of your heart center. Okay. And as you're breathing in and out of your heart center with your eyes closed, you're asking yourself, is this belief true? Does it align with who I am? Do I really believe that I cannot achieve the same thing as Maria? And, I heard it. I don't know if you heard it, but I heard collectively for everybody who tunes into my channel here, no, that's not my truth, right? Because I know, I hear your higher self, and your higher self, yeah, I'm talking to you who's watching right now. Your higher self is saying that anything I can do, you can do better. right? So anything Maria does, we can do better. Anything, it doesn't matter. Because we're not going to tie into that story. We're not going to tie into that belief system, right? We're going to take all of that, and we're going to take the awareness that we can ascend our consciousness to these incredible new heights. We're going to do it better. We're going to do it faster. We're going to show up in ways that are going to just make her so proud of us, right? Because that's what I'm hearing your higher self saying. Okay. But if you're not listening to your higher self and you're listening to your ego's job is to keep you in the game of 3D, right? It's to keep you in that reality that you just keep spiraling around and around, and you're not going to find your path because you keep telling the same stories, dipping into the past, expressing yourself through all the old emotions that are not serving you anymore. Okay. And so we have to be super conscious of that. Another thing that I find my clients and also my students in my online community really like to play with once they understand how it works is that, so those of you listening to this video right here, right now, you're not the same version of yourself as when you first started this video. You can't possibly be, because the knowledge that you are taking away up until this moment right here, right now, has already shifted you, which means that if the knowledge that you have taken in since this moment right here, right now, has shifted you in some way, there is absolutely no way that you are the version of you who first started watching the video. Take a moment, feel into that, because that is where the magic is. Okay. So many of us, all of us on the planet, express ourselves through our emotions. And our emotions happen to be a snapshot of things that happen in our past. And then we get very good at calling up, and actually it's like a Filodex, right? A Rolodex of emotions, and an event happens and we go, oh yeah, wait a second, I have an emotion for that. And then we activate that emotion. It just happens naturally, right? And it's so fast, we don't even realize we're doing it because the body is in control. The mind is not in control anymore. We're not even paying attention because we're not being present. Okay. And then we go into that emotion and we start to run that emotion, and we're not even aware that we're doing it. But when you're present and you're tuning in and you're taking in what I'm telling you right now, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not the same person that I was when I started this video. As a matter of fact, close your eyes right now. Close your eyes, drop into your heart center. And when you drop into your heart center, I want you to feel into that. Am I the same person, the same individual, the same being that I was when I started this video? Just before I started this video, am I the same? Because if you're tuning in and you're connecting to your higher self will tell you, no, that version of you exists on the old reality that you were on when you first tuned into this video. But the version of you that is here now connecting with me, that is doing this exercise that we are sharing together, is a new version of you on a higher, new reality, parallel to the old one, but higher and new, where you are filled with more awareness and more understanding. And through that greater awareness that you're holding and the new understanding that you have a greater ability to create a new reality for yourself, where you can see yourself flourishing. Because if you understand that you are not your beliefs and you are not the stories that you tell about yourself, then creating a new reality is easy. However, it takes being present. And so we may have to work at that a little bit, right? I didn't get here overnight. It was a process. probably 2017 to 2018 was my greatest year of growth ever. Very, very challenging time for me. But, I went through it. I allowed myself to feel everything. I didn't stay stuck in what was taking place, but I felt it all. I felt it all. I had an awareness to it. What I couldn't process through, I wrote down so that I could check back in and see how I was feeling in a day or two, right? And I've been awake since I probably can remember, like, since being born, and then 4 years old was huge for me. And then always aware of myself in the greatest way. And then I guess I got the red pill awakening in 1997. Yeah. And so, this is how it works, right? And it's a process. It's a process, but it's a process of becoming. And in order to become, we have to unbecome what we were. And the way we unbecome is through the stories, letting go of the stories. Because one of the exercises that you can take away from here now today is, when you finish this video, write down some of the stories that you find yourself repeating to your friends or your family, or maybe to your coworkers, right? Or maybe in your spiritual community or whatever, and write those stories down. Write those stories out. Or maybe there are things that you don't share with people, that you keep inside, that you keep internalizing over, agonizing over. Write those stories down so that you could get a full view of the stories that you're holding, the stories that you're telling, and how you are sabotaging yourself, sabotaging your ability to have a new reality, right? This would be the first step in creating a new reality. In order to create something new, we have to let go of the old. I tell people who hang on to an old relationship, they just can't let go. I'm like, you have to let go, because that person is standing in your doorway. And as long as they're standing in your doorway, they're blocking someone else from coming in, right? Well, if we're holding on to these old stories, these old beliefs, these old thoughts, aspects, these habits, these patterns, all of those things are standing in our doorway to a new reality. We can't walk through the doorway, because every time we get to that doorway, it's like a slingshot pushing us back to where we came from. And then all we know is telling that same old story over and over again. So if you are looking to create a new reality for yourself, this is where you're going to start, right? So do the exercises here. Most importantly, close your eyes throughout your day and do a breath check and say, where am I in my thoughts? Where am I in my words? Where am I in my actions? Am I getting up first thing in the morning and doing the same thing over and over again? Or am I breaking that pattern and doing a routine, right? A new routine, or a new something, right? If you go back and you listen to the beginning of this video, I realized the other day, I need to change it up and say something different in the beginning of it, because I always open with hello and welcome back to my channel, right? And I didn't do that today, because I'm like, you know what? I want to create a new energy. I want to create a new expression of myself that I can come in and connect with everybody with, something that, will really foster the direction that I'm looking to go in, and assist and support the information that's coming through. And I could feel it the minute that I felt into what I was going to say, instead of the old routine that I was saying. And the minute I did that, my body got excited and everything started tingling, and I felt the energy of the Kundalini running. And I'm like, yes, excitement, meaning like my higher self is just going to be pouring this stuff down through me, out of me, for you. And that was so exciting for me to have an ability to share this with you. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to offer you today, because this is how we do it, right? So this is the first step in creating a new reality. And of course, I know many of you want that quantum leap. You want to leave this reality now and quantum leap into something else right away. Let's do it, right? But we can't do that until we match the vibration of the reality that we truly desire. So it's a work in progress, okay? And for those of you who are interested in going a little bit deeper in your spiritual exploration, come join me in my online community. It's $33 a month. I do 3 live classes that are about 2 hours long each. So for $33, that's 6 hours with me, open dialogue. There's opportunity for us to connect, for you to ask questions. And many times, we work out whatever's taking place right on the call. It's really a phenomenal group. And then there's also one supplemental piece, and we're doing something new now where, my ascension work is shifting, and I'm going into my old hat, putting on my old hat, which is energy medicine. And that's who I am. I am all about energy medicine. For those who don't know me, those of you who don't know me, I've been doing Reiki since 2005. I got activated in 2000 through cancer, started to, come into my abilities as a healer back in 2000, and then 2005 activated through Reiki, got certified within a year for both Asui Reiki and Karuna Reiki, was a Reiki master teacher, have many students out there. Although I don't really teach anymore, I am now teaching in a new way, teaching healing and energy medicine through my online community, because we're changing the program up, which is very, very exciting. And I'm excited to be bringing this to you, because we're going to be doing a lot of energy exercises, and we're going to be opening up intuition. There's one of the classes going to be geared more toward expanding intuition and teaching how to use your abilities for reading and everything else, right? And tuning in and reading and seeing energy just as I do. And the other class is accessing your inner healer, which in that class, we're doing everything energetic, energy medicine wise. We're talking about the energy body. We already started last week with Auras 101. We went in and talked about the aura field, how important it is, what it does for us. And that was kind of a deep dive. And then this coming Thursday, next week, I think it's March 2nd, we're having our 1 p.m. class, which is probably going to be more intuitive development. And then on, I think, Wednesday night on March 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have a full moon gathering. And again, we're going to talk about how to use these energies, right? It's not necessarily ascension talk, but it is now going to shift and come back into how to use these planetary alignments, because I had gotten away from that for years. I used to do full moon meditations in person in my office for years and years and years, with singing bowls and a little bit of light language and everything else. So we don't know what's going to come through. It'll be exciting. But that's what's to come. And I would love to have you join me in that online community. You can find it on my website. It's on my homepage all the way at the bottom. And then there's a description of the content of what we're going to be exploring as well. And it's just a lot of fun. And I love interacting and sharing and co-creating with everybody. So I look forward to those times together where we're in those gatherings. And for those of you that can't make the nighttime class, next Thursday is going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Time in the afternoon. I do that because I have clients that are overseas that can't make that 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's an option for you. But it's where we take a deep dive into everything that is. And it's super fun and very activating. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me. I am so grateful for this opportunity for us to come together. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. And if something in this resonated with you, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It moves me up in the algorithms. If you know somebody who is struggling within themselves or holding lack or not doing too well because they don't perceive themselves as being capable of moving forward in life, please send them this video. It's the best thing that you can do. It's free to share it. And then it's up to them whether or not they want to participate in watching it. Okay. But what I want you to do is, if you did watch this video, I want you to sit with yourself and feel into yourself now after you've watched this video. Just give yourself the next 5 or 10 minutes after this video and sit in silence and quiet and just meditate. Close your eyes, go into your heart center and just focus there for a few minutes and feel into what might have shifted for you through this video. Okay? That's where your magic is. It's not on the outside, all right? It's what you've taken in and are now able to use. That new awareness that you have. You're able to use it to bring you into your next highest state of being. That's where the magic is. That is the excitement and how we create new realities. Know that I love you so, so very much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.